The Nexplanon is supposed to be here. Mind you, it's supposed to be here. And it had traveled almost to my armpit. So at this point, I'm really scared. So she's poking on in there. And I'm just looking up the other way because I don't want to be seeing how much she's cutting. Hello there. Thank you so much for joining me today, where we're going to be talking about the Nexplanon and just all the juicy stuff about it. So today I actually got the Nexplanon, removed it, and I thought it would be a really good idea to make this video because I actually, on Brittany Ford Fitness, the IG account, get questions about birth control and how it affects us females. So I just really wanted to talk about that, and I specifically wanted to talk about the Nexplanon because it's something that, as you can tell, I have my own experience with. So I'm going on the Nexplanon for 5 years, I want to say. So I had one more year left, and I said, you know what, this is it. I do not want to continue with the Nexplanon. So first of all, what is the Nexplanon? The Nexplanon is a very small implant that goes right here. It's a very small rod. It's inserted under the skin of a woman's upper arm to provide birth control. So they make a little small cut over here, and then they insert it's like a little tube. It's a plastic tube. They insert it. When they put it in, they numb your arm, so you really don't feel anything. So it's not like you're sitting there crying, feeling every single little pain. You don't feel any of that. The cost for Nexplanon for the implant itself is $1,300 to insert, and to remove, the cost is about $300. But of course, if you have insurance, it should be covered. But I just really wanted to make you aware of the price of this birth control, because if it's something $1,300, you might want to think about what you're putting in your body, not just for money, but actually just everything that the birth control has to offer, if that makes sense. So just make sure that you do research. Every one of us ladies is so different, so you don't know what might work for me might not work for you. So you just have to be very careful when it comes to birth control. So the Nexplanon is good for 4 years. I thought it was 3, but I did some research and it said that it's good for 4 years. So we'll go with 4 years. Maybe when I got it 5 years ago, it was 3, and maybe things have changed. Now, mind you, this is the second Nexplanon that I put in. So that's why I said 5 years ago. Now, some of the side effects may include spotting between your periods or no period at all, mood swings, weight gain, headache, acne, depressed mood, and nervousness. Some of those are very common with any birth control, but like I said, one birth control may affect you so different than another birth control does, and that's why it's kind of like a hit or miss. You got to kind of try and see what works best for your body. Other side effects are stomach pain, painful periods, mood swings, nervousness, depressed mood, and back pain. So like I said, I don't really know exactly if these are specific to Nexplanon. I've been doing some research and they don't seem to be specific to Nexplanon. The only one that I could say I didn't really see in other side effects for birth controls was the nervousness. The depressed mood I did see in other birth control side effects, but the nervousness was the one that stuck out. People get the Nexplanon because obviously they don't want to have a child, but that's not the only reason. People don't just get it to not have a child. It does control, manages things like acne, polycystic ovarian syndrome. It regulates painful PMS symptoms. It also regulates irregular periods. Before I jump into how birth controls can affect your training as an athlete, I wanted to talk about my experience. So my experience was I got this 5 years ago. Like I said, I was right out of high school. I knew that I didn't want any children. Well, the first Nexplanon that I had inserted was just rainbows. I mean, everything was amazing. I didn't get any periods. There was nothing really wrong. I mean, everything was great. I didn't have any pain or anything. Now, the second one was very different. I did see things change. I did see a little bit of mood swings, a little bit of nervousness, some stomach pain, which I can't still really relate to if the Nexplanon was causing the stomach pain, but I did have severe stomach pain, which I kept going to the doctors about, and nothing was really found. So I don't know. I still think I link it to the Nexplanon. My second Nexplanon, I did get irregular periods. So goodbye to no periods at all with the first Nexplanon. So that's pretty much it. What I would say was stomach pain, nervousness, mood swings, headaches, but I don't think that's really a symptom for that. No, Siri, I'm not talking to you. But those are some of the things that I saw. So I just kind of decided, you know what, my body needs a break. And when I talked to the nurse, she was like, you know what, you do need a break because you shouldn't be on birth control for that long because it could really mess something up in your body. So she said the pills, the good thing about the pills was that you do get a break. So you have, you know, those 3 weeks that you're taking the pill, and then you have that 1 week where you're just taking the placebo. So that at least that's one good thing because you're taking that little break. Now there's so many pills, and I'm not gonna sit here and say which pill I'm gonna go on because I haven't done enough research. So right now I'm just taking a really cleanse break. I just, you know, I want to cut ties with birth control until I find what is right for me. And as of right now, I haven't found what's right for me. Some of the stories that I've read have been very similar to mine, which is kind of what motivated me. You know what? Just get rid of the Nexplanon. Just stop doing that. Give your body a break. My body has known nothing but to be fake pregnant, because isn't that what birth control is all about? Is to fake your body into thinking that you're pregnant. Well, my body's been thinking that I'm pregnant this entire time for almost 6 years. I'm very excited to see how my mood is going to change. I don't know. I'm just happier and excited to see how my body's going to change. Now, how does birth control affect your training? This is a question that I get. Just overall, how does birth control affect your training? Now, the stuff that I'm going to talk about is not specific to Nexplanon. This is just kind of going over stuff that all of birth control, how it can take an impact in your athletic performance. Now, before I say anything else, I do want to say that there isn't tons of research on this. So the stuff that I'm discussing is just something that I've pulled from tons like research, but there isn't any real research out there. It's more like us girls just ganging up and being like, hey, this happened to me. Oh, that happened to you too. Okay, well, let's compare stories. Let's see, you know, how we can help each other out. Hormonal birth control suppresses ovulation. So your body doesn't get that bump in testosterone during your period. So that is one of the causes why you can see that hard to gain muscle. It's part of that because your body's not getting that bump in testosterone needed during your period. Now, some of the things that I also heard was unusual and significant fatigue seemed to overtake this lady while she was engaging in HIIT training or circuit training, so just high intensity training. She just seemed to get very fatigued. I can't really compare to how I would feel working out without birth control because I've always been on birth controls. But I'll keep you guys updated on how I feel, how my body feels now that I'm off of birth control and I start working out. Hormonal shifts that drive menstrual cycle can affect multiple parts of the body, including muscle, bone, endurance, energy level, and attention. The return of periods after not having them for the first couple of years is also common, as hormone levels in the implant may get lower. So I already discussed a little bit about that. I said, you know, my first Nexplanon, I did get periods. My second one, I did not. To just kind of sum it all up is, you know, every birth control is different. Birth control can impact your athletic performance. Now, it's not to say that, okay, I'm on birth control, I can't work out. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying do some research before you just put something in your body and you don't really know what you're putting into your body. And of course, even if you know what you're putting into your body, you might have a different reaction to what you thought it would be, but just kind of really think about. Now, the last thing that I'll leave you with is the Nexplanon removal. So like I said, today I had my Nexplanon removed, and it was quite the story because I went in there and I'm like, okay, I'm ready, you know, I'm ready to get this removed. So I get it removed and she's like touching up on, you know, where it's placed. Well, she's like, do you feel it? And I'm over here like, no, I don't really feel it. So now I'm like shitting my pants because I'm like, oh my God, I actually can't feel it. I can see that she's trying to stay calm, and I'm trying to stay calm, but I can't stay calm because she's making faces, and I'm like, what is happening? She's like, you know what? We're just gonna numb it, and then we're just gonna keep cutting until we get there. It seems like the Nexplanon has traveled close to your armpit. And I said, what in the world? The Nexplanon is supposed to be here. Mind you, it's supposed to be here. And it had traveled almost to my armpit. So at this point, I'm really scared. So she's poking on in there, and I'm just looking up the other way because I don't want to be seeing how much she's cutting. So I think it was because I was nervous, but I kept hearing her cut. So when she got done with it, I could have sworn she had made a big old dash, just cut all the way over here, and I was gonna have a big old thing. But no, it's just a small little incision. They did have to put stitches, but it was just a small cut. But this goes to say, she told me that the person that put my implant in put it in wrong. Put it in wrong. So you're telling me the person that put my Nexplanon on put it in wrong. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That's fantabulous. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know what you can do with this information, because it's not like you can go into the doctors and be like, how much experience do you have in putting these in? Have you put in like 1, 5, or 15? I mean, there's really nothing you can do about it. So I just want to kind of let you know my experience. So I don't know how bruised this is going to be. So I think that could have been dangerous, because some of the things that I was reading online is that sometimes when they can't find it, you have to go under surgery. And I mean, that's a little more complicated. And I've even heard, like, while I was doing some research, like, some of the people say that it even goes like deep into your lungs. I don't know how true that is, but like it travels down, and that's scary. I mean, that's pretty scary if you tell me. So if you can, actually, I'm not gonna give you any advice on birth control, because I really don't know anything about. I'm not a physician. So do your research and find out what birth control works best for you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.